Well, we're working heavily in the area of cybersecurity, though we don't really call it that. It's more about data resilience, so it's resilient mobile systems. And it would be interesting to get together with the industry leaders, people who are experts in the area, and just discuss views and see how we move forwards.
Okay, and you've talked about data resilience. Could you just provide a bit more as to what that is?
Well, it's resilient data systems, so it's we work a lot in the automotive sector and transport sector. So those are physical systems that can have direct impact on the well-being of the passengers and people around them when they're moving. So in the future, with a much more connected world, that gives many more dimensions for attack and nefarious activity, we like to call it, so people doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, and that can lead to injury, etc. So it's how you secure that system, how then you make the system not respond to those attacks as well. So, and that's the lens to a resilient system. So it's not totally dependent on the security of the system, it's dependent on how the system responds to it as well.
Okay, and why do you think safety versus security is such an important topic?
Well, I think it's a very, very important topic, safety versus security, partly because I think it's a non-topic and an awful lot of people are spending a lot of time talking about it. I think safety and security are very similar words, and they end up with very similar outcomes. But if you're a passenger in a vehicle, you want to know that you can trust that vehicle and that you are going to be safe. And a very significant part of that safety in the future will be the security of that vehicle. Consequently, the three terms trustworthy, safety and security are synonymous, and they're just facets of the same thing. So I'm quite keen that we sort of get past the is it one word or another, the competition between the two, and accept that in a given situation, depending on your perspective, it's one or the other word.
And what do you think the potential challenges are?
Potential challenges with safety and security is the rapidity of the change, and also language. So I represent Ricardo. We come very much from the automotive side of this, and we're working very closely with Rogue Manor, who come very much from the cybersecurity side of this. And one of the things that we've actually had to do quite hard over the last 2 years is get the two groups of people to speak the same language. And actually, the cybersecurity industry has its own language, automotive has its own language, aeronautics has its own language, and getting those people to actually talk to one another in a language that they can all understand so they can start to break the problems down and then solve them is one of the major hurdles. So it's much more of in some respects, a human problem, as much a human problem in the start as a technical one.